When a couple comes to the point where they decide to end a marriage, things get pretty complex. We've all heard the stories or we've lived through it. I mean, we're talking about separating finances, assets, and your debts, not to mention there may be children. That's where our next guest comes in to make sure things are transitioned in the smoothest way possible.
No question. Shannon Wilson. She's here, the attorney with Hutchison and Steffen. She's a partner there, and it's great to have you. How are you, Shannon?
Good morning. I'm very well today. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. I mean, let's call it what it is. All divorces are complex, but some of them are legally complex. What is that? What is it? What exactly is a complex divorce case versus just your typical divorce?
So, a complex divorce is actually defined under Nevada law. And Nevada law tells us that a complex divorce case is when one or the combined income of the parties is over $250,000 a year, there are assets in excess of $1 million, or one or both of the parties has an ownership interest in a business, and maybe they even operate their own business. So, if any one of those three things is true, then you have a complex divorce litigation.
Wow. Yeah, it does sound very complicated. You have a lot of experience with these complex divorce cases. By the way, I wouldn't have not a law has anything to do with it. What kind of planning goes into a divorce like this?
So you want to have some planning in advance of the divorce litigation starting, ideally. Now, sometimes you don't get that luxury, but if you do, one of the things that you want to do is early identification of the assets, the liabilities, and the income streams. Now, sometimes people have the gut inclination to do things like transfer or hide assets, or to waste or even sometimes destroy them. And that's what we do not want to have happen, right? So security is a legitimate concern.
Mhm.
So if you have some concerns that the other party might be doing some of those things, then you want to consult a experienced family lawyer early and often and get some advice on how to secure assets as opposed to taking things into your own hands and doing things that will make more trouble for you later on down the line.
Yeah, something tells me the courts do not see kindly to stuff like that. How do you go about choosing the right lawyer for something like this, though? How would you find that?
So you want a lawyer who obviously is well skilled and versed in Nevada divorce law, premarital agreements, postmarital agreements, trust and estate planning, all of those things that come to bear. But you really need a good team of lawyers. You, in a complex divorce litigation, particularly, you're going to have things like business valuations, you're going to have tax issues, you're going to have transactional issues to do the unwinding of the marital assets. And so having a team at your disposal is really key. That's one thing that makes Hutchison and Steffen so special is because I have to the office to the left of me, I have a tax attorney. To the office to the right of me, I have a business attorney. And just down the hall, I have a
Mm.
transactional attorney. So this brings real added value to our clients as opposed to just a boutique divorce law firm.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I mean, the folks you just mentioned, along with your expertise, is a team of people who can deal with each element of the complex arrangement. Is there, yeah, does a lawyer specialize in this area oftentimes? Is there any special training needed?
So there are absolutely, well, let me begin again. Every lawyer starts with a general background when they go to law school, and then you have to pass a bar exam. And here we absolutely have to know family law for the bar exam. But then, in addition to that, you want a lawyer who has expanded their base of knowledge, who has the ability to identify when you need those specialized tax issues, when you need those specialized transactional lawyers to do those documents that will unwind the assets correctly, that won't land you back in court in the future, right? Having all of these skills at your disposal is critically important to making sure that you've got a fair, equitable, and successful outcome for your client.
No question. It's great to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. Not
Shannon,
not
thank
necessarily
you.
the easiest thing to talk about, but it's a lot easier when you get the right people in your corner.
Absolutely.
Awesome. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
If you want to learn more about Hutchison and Steffen, you can go to hutchlegal.com. You could also call the number 702-385-2500. They're located on West Alta Drive. They're in Summerlin, and Hutchison and Steffen Attorneys, a proud sponsor of the Morning Blend.